Hi everybody, my name is Adriana. Welcome to my first YouTube channel. I'm cleansing my space. Put that there. And just to give you a little introduction, my YouTube channel originally was going to be talking about music, trends, fads, dancing, and anything, surrounding social media and the, outdoor scene. And that completely took a different change. And I was very led to lead a completely different topic. And so please be advised that there is going to be strong language. There's going to be sensitive matters discussed. And if it resonates, may it help you. And if it doesn't, please, share this information. It helps to pass it along. So the reason why I was really compelled to take a completely different direction is I was guided. I was led, and I was really moved to talk about nothing relating to music, nothing relating to fashion, and that's okay. It's still, part of my persona and, part of my exterior per se. And I'm really going to discuss more about the interior. And yeah, like I was expressing, I was really moved to talk a lot about different subjects, some that are going to be a little sensitive and touchy. And, I hope that this helps someone and it brings clarity to others. I've had a pretty interesting journey so far. And it keeps getting more interesting as I go along. And along the way, I found so many just incredible people that have been there and have helped me and have really helped me see things in different lights. And that's how literally everything just started coming about. Meeting the different type of people, the different type of friends, coming from diverse backgrounds. Yeah. And like I said, it's relatable to some. It may not be relatable to all. And that's okay. Pass it along. So, interestingly, a lot of people have considered me and viewed me as lucky. But because superficially, that's what they know. That's what they see. We all have different personalities. We all have different, how do you call that? Layers of what makes us unique, different. And so I really can't call myself lucky, but I felt that throughout life, through family, friends, I was just maneuvered, and a lot of life choices that I have made have brought me this far. And I feel a lot of good ones, because we are all given choices. And sometimes we're going to make choices that will affect the rest of our lives. But even if it's a bad choice, we learn from it. We can use that as a stepping stone. Even if it was something not so good, you have to see it as, look at it as a learning tool, and don't repeat. Sometimes we repeat cycles from doing the same mistakes and choosing the same choices, so to speak. So that's how you know if when you shift your choices and choose a different direction and you get good outcomes, that's how you know that you're going to the right place. When something kind of like stops you, like a roadblock, that's how you know, choose something different, make better choices. And also too, the people that are around you, be very selective of who your company is, including family. Because although sometimes people will say something that's for your good and that will, kind of put it on you or pressure you, you ultimately have to make your own choice in life. And you should never let people choose for you. And you shouldn't really give somebody the dart and make that shot that you're supposed to be making for yourself. I've been around people that can't make a decision for themselves. And I can't really do that, because then you'll be left to blame somebody else for a choice that you made. And if you really think about it, from the time where you're aware, like maybe we'll say teenage years or preteen years, when you know your right and wrongs. Like if you go to school, don't cut class, you'll fall behind. And sometimes the influences of the world really do impact us for the good or for the bad. Like I was saying to a relative, when children are born, they come in the most innocent forms. There's no wrong in them. And there's no, anything wrong with them, speaking from the heart. Children are born good. They're very loving. If you play with them, they're very giggly, they're very active, and they reciprocate what you're giving them. But as children grow up and they're exposed to family and friends and the real world, around them, that's why I said to this relative, you are the best example as a parent. Because once they're exposed out there, they're going to be constantly around people that have this and that to say. And the choices, like I said, a lot of them are going to be life altering. And so this is where it's bringing me to my present day. And like I said, I felt that I've made poor choices, but use them as learning tools. You cannot, be hard on yourself. And you can't constantly be bombarded with a thought, I wish, and I want to go back. We can't. We have to move forward, persevere for our better, greater good, and make better choices. And one thing too that I've learned from experience, your choices won't make sense to anybody. It's not supposed to. It's like a unique book that you're just so attracted into reading. If you pass this book to somebody else, they won't like it. They won't find it intriguing or interesting, and they'll put the book down. But to you, it has such a unique story that you just can't keep your eyes off it. That's how your life is. It really has no interest to anybody but to you. You're the author of your story. Literally, line by line, chapter by chapter, and page by page. And the decisions that you make are going to be your chapters. Make them good. Sometimes you're going to have really not so good chapters. You probably won't want to share them with anybody, friends, family, the world. But use those to your advantage and learn from them moving forward. Don't be so hard on yourself, because that's what makes us human. That's what, keeps us moving forward. Okay, on to my next chapter. It'll be a good one. This is why. Sometimes you're not going to have a game plan, so to speak, when things happen. Life, it's going to change constantly. We don't have plans, and sometimes people go day by day. Like with me, I can have a plan, it'll switch, it'll change, and it'll be completely different from what I've planned. And, we just keep moving forward. But as long as, you make choices for your greater good, you will turn out okay. Everything will be fine. And don't be so hard on yourself. And life is going to have its learning lessons. And like I mentioned, it's okay for you to receive help from people. It's okay to receive advice, but don't strongly rely on other people's opinions to shape and move and maneuver you through your life. They're just help. It's like the little touch that you may need to get you moving and going towards a certain goal or direction. But the choices in life are ultimately yours. They're ours. And so, like I was saying, make your chapters good. Make it better than the last. And if you fall, pick yourself up. I've also been told that people see me and they've assumed that I've never been through a hardship. Like I said in the beginning, on a superficial level, I look just fine. I go about my day and I wake up positive, and I try to go to sleep on a positive mind. But no, people have come up to me, and because they see me jovial, they see me happy, they see my exterior, my personality, they think she's never been through anything and she's had a grand life. And yeah, those people are the ones that don't really have no inkling of who Adriana really is. They don't have an understanding of my internal whatsoever. But if they see the good side of me, if they see this, carefree and happy person, then that's a good thing. It shows you where my life is going, and it shows you that it's staying positive. You can tell by people's exterior, by their attitude, their face, what's going on. You can see when people are troubled, they're frustrated, they're angry, they're unhappy, they're just going through a rough time. I've chosen not to carry any burdens on me. It's like putting a backpack full of bricks. You can't carry that all day. That will just burden you and break you down. And I've chosen to not do that to myself. And I've chosen not to be so heavily burdened, and to deal with things accordingly and one thing at a time. So no, I've had a lot of rough patches, from child to present. But I've carried myself really well, and I've handled a lot of my hardships and trouble, I can't say with ease. I just handled them where grieve for that moment of that hardship. Cry it out for that moment in your time and let it go. You're probably thinking, how? How can you let that go? Good question. Don't let it stay within you. Don't let it be your focal point. Like, I had this happen to me. It's going to keep me depressed. It's going to keep me angry. And it's just going to keep me stagnant. That's a choice. That's a choice that I made. Even when I had my difficult times, I chosen not to remain there. I'm very strong-minded. And I know that a lot of people aren't, and that's okay. It's okay to ask for help and support when you need it. Not everybody can mentally handle, there's times where people are going to break down and go through difficulty. But the way I handled myself, I did a lot of, managing of my issues alone. And that's what made me pretty resilient. And I'm very proud of myself. And I'm going to still walk forward, hold my head high, and say I can do this. So with ending, thank you very much for your views. I hope you found this little tidbit interesting and helpful. And like I said, this is something that doesn't really help you. It's okay. Pass it on. Until next time.